And welcome back to the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. We are very excited to be talking about this one. I am here always with my lovely and beautiful co-host, Allie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I have one more shift later on tonight, and then I'm off for a couple of days. And excited to talk about the premiere. It was very good. And yeah, and it's very late, but it's crackhead hours.
Yes, it's crackhead hours. It's not going to be crackhead hours when this goes up. But
True.
It's crackhead hours for us right now. But as Ali alluded to, we are going to be talking about the premiere of Survivor 41. It's finally back after not so many years. It's back after like a year. The last time was Winners at War, right? Yeah, Winners at War was the last time the show was on. And I mean, I will say the same thing I've said with a lot of things that have come back during the pandemic. I think just the fact that we have been able to get a season of Survivor, regardless of how good or bad it is, I think that's something we should be grateful for. I said it with Big Brother last year. I said it with, many award shows. I think just the fact that it's back here, I think that's something we should be excited for. But since you're a little bit more into Survivor, I guess talk about your love of Survivor overall.
Well, I started watching in my first season was Cagayan, which was a really great season.
Same, but like 4 episodes.
It's actually a pretty popular one to start with.
That's what I heard.
Like the dynamic and everything. And then I've watched all the ones like from 28 on. And then I went back and watched like a bunch of old seasons. And I have a note in my phone of ones I have to watch or finish, and then ones I've seen. There's like a couple that I haven't finished yet. Like I need to restart Australian Outback. I need to finish Guatemala, and I need to finish Nicaragua. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of seasons I still have to finish, but there's a lot I've seen, and it's just such a great game. So like creative and fun, and it's like definitely one of the best reality shows.
Yeah, so my history with Survivor is not as big. As I've said before, I'm sure I have not watched much Survivor prior to this. I know what the fuck. How can I claim myself to be an orger and not watch much Survivor? It's fine. I will rectify that by watching this season. This will be the first season I'll be watching regularly, and I have to say, for the first season, this is pretty fucking great. Like, this was a really strong premiere, I think. Right off the bat, I think we're already seeing a lot of really strong, very, like, messy gameplay from these people. Like, I've heard others say it. This feels like an org. Like, this really does feel like an org. With the way things are accelerated and the way these people are playing, I feel like I'm watching an org rather than a season of Survivor. And I'm here for it. Like, I am here for this accelerated format.
It's kind of like where it's kind of like we're watching a live Survivor game.
Yeah, that too. That's a good way to look at it as well, like an LRG. Yeah, but I guess we'll just get right into it. So there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, this was a 2-hour premiere, and they did not waste any time. We see Jeff gives us an introduction to how much Survivor has evolved. He explains to us that this season we'll know a little bit more of what's happening before the players do and be co-conspirators. And he introduces this new advantage called the Beware one. He hides it in the Yase tribe camp, and they want to lean into the dangerous kind of Survivor fun. And the pace is going to be a lot faster this year. There's only 26 days, and the tribes will be a lot smaller. What is that compared to
Wait,
what it is?
Wait, I thought it was 28.
Maybe it's 28. I'm not sure. But how much? What is that usually like compared to? How long is it usually?
Usually it's 39 days.
Okay. So we then get introduction to a bunch of the castaways, and it's mostly about, and this is something that I know a lot of people weren't sure how to feel about. What did you feel about this? Because I heard this was pretty new, them kind of cutting back to everyone and giving like a brief introduction of who they are and things like that. Did you like that overall?
I actually liked it. Like, we don't need to hear like too much about them because they obviously like when they're bonding and everything, they can talk more about themselves. But I like just a small intro with just like the key points about them and everything. And it just
I liked it too. It felt more like official to me. Like it really felt like we got to know who these people were. And I always say this about 2-hour premieres. Like I feel like you have that time. Why not take advantage of it? And I feel like this premiere absolutely took advantage of that. Like it recognized that like we don't need everything to be strategy. We don't need everything to be about the game. It was a good mix, I feel like. That's what this was. It was a very good mix between, them talking strategically, but then them also us getting to know them personally. So I really did like that. They mainly talk about like how hard it's been like since COVID and how excited they are to play. So everyone lands on the island and Jeff welcomes everyone to the season and they've taken all the tests and on a full quarantine and they can now play Survivor. And as someone who hasn't watched Survivor, I mean, this just felt like such an amazing feeling. Like you could see how the excitement was like radiating throughout the screen. I feel like
they were all very excited and like obviously the pandemic has like been hard on them.
Yeah.
And they're just excited to like get into the game that they love.
Yeah. So he then asks a bunch of them how they feel on a scale of 1 to 10. Abraham talks, who we're going to talk a lot about, obviously. He talks about how he's very excited to play Survivor with no masks or confinement. Erika, one of your favorites, I know, talks about how she was meant
Erika?
to play.
I mean, she's not one of my favorites. But
I think I'm the one that drafted her.
I don't dislike her, though.
Yeah. So she talks about how she was meant to play Survivor last year and that got taken away at the last second and how many people lost something during the pandemic. They are still able to have this experience. And then Naseer, this was probably the one that was like the most interesting to me because, and we kind of know this from like his cast assessment where basically he talks about how he's the happiest person on the earth since he actually learned English through watching Survivor. So this is like a really big dream for him. And immediately, like Naseer's someone that I'm very much drawn to. I feel like he's a very interesting kind of personality, and I'm very interested in getting more into his story overall.
Oh yeah, same. I love this. Like, I just think this is a very like wholesome thing.
Yeah. So Heather talks about how she started watching Survivor 20 years ago and how it's been a routine for her to always watch it with her family. So this is really like coming full circle for her. And then he encourages them to talk about whatever is on their mind. And then we're going to address something that should not be controversial, but for some reason it is. He brings up how they feel about a phrase. It's the phrase, "Come on in, guys." He's not entirely sure if this phrase is still applicable in the modern age. And at first, the majority of the cast seems to be okay with it. What did you think of him addressing this?
I mean, I'm just glad he at least asked if everyone was okay because he actually like cares about his contestants and everything.
Oh yeah,
and he cares about their well-being. So it is very like mature and nice that he did that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying this felt very like performative to them, that he was like asking them how they felt, but like I kind of view it as like, and I've said this before, like
I can see that, but
yeah.
Like how it comes off as, but
yeah. I mean, I view it much more as like the good hosts in a game put as much emphasis into like the safety of their players and the care about their players as they do into the game. And I think Jeff absolutely does that. And that's something that I immediately recognize from like, say, Julie Chen, someone who's just like an emotionless robot. Jeff has a lot more care for these people.
Oh yeah. Jeff Probst actually like loves his contestants and he has personality.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant an emotionless preaching robot because my God, that's all she does these days. Story. But he then puts everyone into their tribes. Everyone in blue is called the Luvu tribe. Yellow is Yaza and green is Ua, not Ua, just so I don't say that. It's Ua. So he tells them this season is going to be more difficult to win than ever because of the fast paced, and there truly will be no more time to breathe and nowhere to hide. They will also be having very minimal supplies, 1 pot, 1 machete, 1 flint, which is crazy. There's no rice or food source or anything. So like he really is like kind of pushing them to their limits this season, which I like, but at the same time, it's like, I want some food.
Yeah, exactly. They need a little bit of food.
Yeah, just a little bit. Come on. They need some. Just give them some rice. That's it.
Yes. He then announces the first tribe challenge. They each have to scatter 18 color-coded paddles for each tribe. We need to get their 6 paddles and their 6 tribe members off the barge and onto the raft, where they then have to paddle out and around a buoy and race back to where they'll see a flint dangling from a pole. The first tribe to get it will earn all the supplies, but the other tribes will leave with nothing. And we'll have to try to get it again another time.
This was brutal. Like, honestly, this was so brutal to think about. The fact that, like, some of them are going to end up with no supplies.
I know, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Ua immediately gets their 6, and Lubu is able to do pretty well. However, Yaza really struggles to find all of their paddles. Ua takes a long time while Lubu picks up speed pretty quick. And however, Ua ultimately is able to win the first reward challenge of the season since Lubu forgets to unclip their boat.
Which I thought was really funny. Like, they were really struggling, and then the last second, they're like, oh, shit, and then unclip the boat.
I know, that was funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this was a really good first challenge, I think. It showed just, like, how all these challenges are very physical, and we really do see that here. And I'm sure that's normal in Survivor.
That's actually normal for Survivor.
Yeah, but especially, like, this first challenge, like, they were very...
You get, like, very in shape. You get very in shape during this game.
Oh, good. I need that. Because I'm very not in shape.
Oh, my God. Me too. Sara talks about how last year was difficult for her since her grandmother passed away from COVID, and she enjoyed Survivor a lot, and they would watch it together. I find this like a really sweet and wholesome moment.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. Again, I think this was a good way for us to get to know Sara just based on, you know, aside from just how she plays.
Yeah. She feels like she is there almost for her. The fact she lost her is very sad, but she feels their presence with her and feels that that will give her strength throughout the game.
Yeah, I really will. I will say, like, I know some people had issues with them, like, cutting back and forth, but I think because it was a 2-hour episode, like, it just flowed fine for me. Like, I didn't find it too choppy or anything. I think if it was shorter, I think it definitely would have been choppy. But I think because it was 2 hours, like, they were able to just kind of, like, it just flowed, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Ual takes the opportunity to start collecting more supplies,
which was, like, really smart, I thought.
I know. Brad talks about how he's a cattle rancher, so
I'm a cattle rancher.
So he is used to working with his hands all the time, and on the ranch he was always Dad's right-hand man. 5 years ago, cancer got a hold of him, and he died right before he came out there.
Which, like, is a very saddening story for sure, but, like, everything this guy was saying was, like, stereotypical, like, country boy, and I just, like,
yeah.
I couldn't.
I know. They each take turns trying to make fire. JD talks about how for the past year he's been practicing for this all the time, making fire with flint, coconut, grass, or anything he can find. He is then able to successfully make a fire. I really like JD a lot. Like, he's became one of my favorites.
Right from this first, like, confessional, I was like, I'm really gonna like JD a lot. Like, he seems like someone who's, like, really well equipped for Survivor. He's a real, like, student of the game. He's put a lot of effort into it, and he's already, like, he's very messy, but he's very entertaining to watch. So I really am liking him so far.
Same. He can do some damage
for sure.
We check in with Yaza and Liana. Talks about how much of a struggle this was for them and how they all looked like idiots, but the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
I love Liana. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really like her so far.
They walk further onto the beach as a tribe and find a huge hourglass. They are told they need to choose one task, either savvy or sweat. The savvy task can attempt to solve a visual riddle and counting the number of triangles within a triangle, but it comes with a risk since they only get one guess. The other one is sweat, in which 2 tribe members need to work together to gather enough ocean water to fill up 2 large barrels. Those 2 tribe members will be isolated from the rest of the cast. They have 4 hours to complete either one.
And now I thought they were, like, easily going to choose savvy here just because, like, they can do the tribe, they can do it together, but that's not what ends up happening.
Excuse me. Sorry, my throat's a little dry.
Get some water.
Yeah, I've been drinking some.
Okay.
Voce. What does this
Voce.
mean? Oh, Voce. Voce talks about how being a neurosurgeon, he is constantly thinking through scenarios and wants the savvy option to be picked as a result. And especially since for the physical challenge, only 2 people would be able to do it and feel it would put a target on everyone's back. However, it seems like everyone else wants to get it done.
And I like that we have someone here that's like literally a frontline worker. Like he kind of is like a big part of, and I think it's really cool because, you know, like they couldn't play Survivor because of COVID. Now we have someone who's like been through, like seen everything COVID can do to you firsthand. And now he like gets to play Survivor. Like, I think that's honestly kind of beautiful. Like someone that's worked so hard to like,
I agree,
combat against COVID is now getting to play Survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Luvu also picks Sweat, which Deshawn immediately brings up, and he and Danny go ahead and do it.
Again, like I was very surprised everyone picked Sweat. I thought at least like one of the teams would pick Savvy, but that's not happening.
I was like shocked about that.
Yeah, so we get this really good moment with Genie where basically she talks about how she and her wife have been married for 20 years and how stigmatized it was for her to be gay then. And she was told from that gesture that her mom told her how much she accepted her. I thought this was a really great moment. Again, that's one of the things I really enjoy about this first episode is those smaller moments, us really getting the time to know these people. You know, obviously you want to root them for their gameplay, but you also want to know their stories. You want to know who they are. And I think they did a really strong job with that because we then get this good moment with Ricard, who talks about...
I actually really like Genie from this episode.
Oh yeah, me too. I think she has a lot of potential. Then we get a very similar segment with Ricard where he basically talks about his husband and how he never wanted to get married, but now he is, and they have a 22-month-old daughter and is having a hard time leaving them behind, especially since his husband works a full-time job while being a transgender pregnant man. And if he wins, he will actually know he can take care of his children's full adulthood. I really like Ricard. I think he's definitely trying to be the villain of the season, and it's mostly working for him. I fear for how he's going to do moving forward, but I like him so far.
I like him too so far. I was sort of iffy with him preseason, but like I can see him kind of being villainous. Do I see him winning? No, I see him making at least like early merge.
Yeah. So Danny and Deshawn then take the time to go idol searching because why not? You know, they can do it together. And this was not a great time for them to do this because Naseer immediately catches them in the act and he immediately wants to target one of them. So he tells the rest of the tribe what he witnessed and he's unsure that they're not going to finish this challenge. And if they were to lose at the 4, they should just stick together. I thought that Naseer, you know, again, I really like him as a character, but I thought he was playing way too hard here. Like, it really does not matter. And also, like, you should expect this. Like, the 2 of them are together. Like, obviously, they're going to take the time to, like, lock something down. Like, come on. I just thought, I don't know. I thought he was just playing way too hard, way too fast here. I don't know if you agree, but, like, I was, you know.
I mean, I hope it works out for him. I hope he doesn't get screwed over.
I hope so too. The way that he was immediately like going to target them, I was just like, why? But Xander and Voce we see are really struggling to get this task done. And Evvie and Liana talk, which can I just say right now, easily one of my favorites of the duos that are working together so far. I really like these 2 a lot. But they talk about how they feel the 2 of them.
I can see these 2 dominating for sure.
Oh, yeah. So they feel the 2 of them will be bonded doing this together and that they should be the targets. And Liana says she feels super good with Evvie. And it seems like these 2 are going to be working very closely together. Again, I am so here for these 2 working closely in the game. I think that they already, I feel like, are spearheading a lot of game decisions. And I think that's going to be really good for them moving forward. So Evvie says she plans to not tell everyone about how she actually is a PhD at Harvard. So she feels she can use this to her advantage this season. Evvie is already killing the game. I think she's definitely one of the top contenders to win right now. I think the fact that they focused already on that, I definitely could see her getting really far in this game.
Same. I really like Evvie a lot. She's So far, she's like surprised me a lot too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically, Abraham talks with Evvie and throws out Tiffany for falling into the water immediately, and Liana questions her about it, and Tiffany doesn't like the fact he threw her name out immediately. Just really bad move by Abraham here, like just right off the bat wanting to target her. I thought this was a really bad call. Because what he's not considering is like, sure, they're safe now, but they're not going to be safe, like, moving forward. So she talks. So we then get this moment with Tiffany where finally there's something to like about her. She doesn't talk about how she doesn't wash her hair or whatever that was, but she talks about how her mom died of ovarian cancer, and she also has it in her genetics. So she had surgery for both a double mastectomy and operectomy, and it did in fact save her life and is considered a pre-vivor, and she hopes she can change that to survivor. I thought this was a really good moment. It really got me on board with Tiffany now that I actually know who she is and not just her like not washing her face or whatever it was.
Everyone's like, hygiene is important.
Hygiene is important for sure, but I did like what we saw of her in this episode, I'd say.
I like her a lot now too. Like, she's not my favorite, but I don't dislike her. And this moment was just like really like heartfelt.
Oh yeah. JD then talks about how he doesn't want to be talking about strategy all the time, which like good. Yeah, you shouldn't be wanting to do that all the time. And he wants to have tiny conversations, just getting to know people, but feels with the game just being 26 days, it's going to go by much faster. Again, that's why this feels like an orc. So Ricard seems a bit threatened by him, how much he wants to make connections and things like that. So you can see Ricard is like really gunning hard for JD here. Sara and Shan also seem to want to target him. And we then get this moment with Shan. And I'll just say right now, Shan's my winner pick. Like, just from this episode, actually, every moment we get with Shan, like, is in my opinion.
Yeah, as of right now, she is my winner pick as well. But also Liana, I can see doing really well.
I could see Liana doing well too, but I just feel like the emphasis they put on Shan in this episode with her wanting to be the villain, giving herself her own like villain music, it's like,
just because of that, she's probably making finale.
Yeah, I really do see her getting far. So she talks about how being a pastor, she has skills of active listening, and she wants people to believe that they can trust her, and she hopes that they won't see her cut their throat in the end. She lies to JD and says that she is with him to the end of the game, and I think she's already doing really well. Like, she's in a really strong position here, especially later on. I really am loving Shan so far. Like I said, definitely my winner pick moving forward.
Yes, same. All right. Both tribes are able to complete their task and find their supplies.
I wasn't sure if they were going to. I really wasn't sure.
Yeah, same in a way.
But they did.
Sydney then lets Deshawn on Naseer, wanting to target him and Danny. And after this, he seems pretty gung-ho about targeting Naseer.
Yeah, which I mean makes sense because like he wanted to just target them from the jump. It's like, I really do fear for Naseer. I have to say, I fear for him in the coming weeks because here's the thing. If he was really close with someone on the tribe and he felt like, they weren't going to go rat it out to someone else, maybe he could have gone away with this, but it's so early on in the game. You want to not do things like that because then you're just going to make unnecessary enemies. And I feel like that's exactly what Naseer did here because now he's made an enemy out of Deshawn and Danny, and they're just going to like probably want to target him for that. So I really do fear for Naseer, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't see him making it much farther unless he can get himself out of a sticky situation.
I think he's going to go far pre-merge. I don't think he's making merge. I don't think he is.
I don't think so either.
But we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. Sydney talks about how she loves to travel and always needs to challenge herself in life, so Survivor just makes sense. Suddenly a boat pulls out.
I don't like her at all. I'm just going to put that out there.
I don't either. She just seems really bitchy.
Yeah, and also just really cocky as well. Like, I just get the sense that she's like really fucking like, like selfish.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly a boat pulls up. And they're told one of them must get on and make a decision where they will then return to camp. Immediately, they want Sydney to do it, but she declines. Danny decides to go ahead and do it. Then Xander goes for Yase, and JD goes for Ua, which is drawn by rocks. Although he is worried he will be targeted for not being there.
Yeah, which the fact it was drawn by rocks, I mean, that just shows like how kumbaya that tribe is, and also just like how messy that tribe really is. They don't even have like a set target.
I am here for that tribe being messy.
Oh, same. Ua is like, that's going to be the tribe I'm looking forward to watching the most all season, especially based on like this tribal alone. Like, I'm going to be so excited to see what they do. This was interesting to me. I didn't think they were going to do something quite like this, but it really just kind of set the tone for like the rest of the episode with what happens here.
Yeah. Xander immediately notices there are other boats. They all get off the boats and meet each other. They are told to follow the path to the summit and take the time to get to know each other. They bond a bit over sports.
Which, again, I had to tune out of because I don't give a fuck.
JD talks about how he wasn't always an athlete and was bullied a lot as a kid with braces, hair, and glasses, and being very skinny and watching Survivor made him feel like he didn't need to fit into a mold and helped him become who he is.
I liked this a lot. I thought this really like humbled JD a bit. Like you can tell that he's someone that is very confident. He's very outspoken, but we see that he has a story. He has a reason for being there. I really liked this a lot. It made me like him even more, to be honest.
Same. Like this was just like a really nice moment.
Yeah.
They then all try to figure out what this could be. They think it might be an advantage or something for the tribe. They are unsure whether it will all take it or decline it.
I thought this was going to be like an idol clue. That's what I thought this was going to be.
Something like that, or some kind of advantage.
Yeah.
They walk out and see a pirate's wheel where they are told they need to make a strategic decision. They can either protect their vote where nothing has changed, risk their vote where they would all lose their vote, but will also have an extra vote if it comes just who is split players, and who choose to protect their vote remain the same. Ultimately, JD and Danny choose to protect it, and Xander risks it.
Which, what did you think about this? First of all, what would you do in this like situation?
I mean, it depends on the situation. I might risk it.
Yeah.
If need be, but like it's always good to have a little power.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a very risky decision of risk the vote, no pun intended there, but like I think it's definitely like very tricky because it's like if you're risking your vote, you could get an extra vote, but you also could lose all votes. So it's like it's tough. So it's very tough.
Like there is a scenario where I would risk it, and then there are scenarios where I would decline.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm really not sure what I would do here, but Danny does talk to his tribe afterward, which
I actually think since it's early on, I would probably decline for like early on.
Yeah, I probably do the same thing. No reason, just keep it the same. But Danny talks to his tribe.
No, I think that's still mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's late. I'm tired, and I'm not being nice.
No, it's okay. You are nice.
Go ahead.
I love you.
I love you.
Danny talks to his tribe afterward about what exactly went down to avoid any reason to be targeted, and everyone seems to believe it. Xander explains to them why they now all have the extra vote.
Can I just say, he bores the fuck out of me. Like, I am not into Xander at all. Every time he's on screen, I'm just like, cut to something else.
I mean, I don't mind him I prefer him over Sydney, but
same.
But not by
I don't hate Xander. He's just boring.
Yeah, he is. JD, however, has also protected his vote, so this won't be happening. Ricard doesn't seem to believe anything he said here and wants to target him.
Which I didn't understand why. Like, why would he make this up? Like, and also, how would you make this up? Like, I feel like this is way too specific to, like, make this up. Ricard's just really playing hard. And I again, similar to Naseer, I really fear for Ricard. Like,
I do too. I can see Ricard and Naseer making it to, like, pre-merge.
I honestly could see a scenario in which Ricard been targeted, like, on his tribe. Because, like, he is just being so ridiculously like upfront about everything. But Ricard then brings up to Jeff.
Oh, sorry.
It's still you.
Yeah. Ricard brings up to Jeff how he wants them to change the words, guys, and that Survivor has changed over the last 21 years and has allowed so many people to thrive, and Jeff says that is the last time he will ever say it, and from now on it will just be come on in.
Which again, I really liked this a lot. I thought it really showed like how much Survivor has evolved. I like the fact that, you know, and people have really like emphasized like why was Ricard the one to change it? I don't think that matters. I think it just shows that like Jeff is open to everyone's suggestions and like he's willing to hear them out. So I really liked that he listened to what Ricard said here and he's like, all right, we're gonna change it. Like I think that's what a good host should do. And I think we should definitely like learn from that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I agree. Don't be pressed about it because it's not important. What's important is that he wants to change things. The inclusion, the inclusiveness is what's important. You know, that's what matters. Not the inclusiveness is what's important, not so much the, you know, just changing things. Like that doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
He then tells them about a new twist. If they go to tribal council, they fear they are at risk and don't have an idol or advantage to help them. They have a die that will give them the power to decide not to vote, but instead reach into a bag for a half shot.
1 out of 6.
Sorry, for a 1 out of 6 shot of.
I don't know why it wrote it like that. It was weird.
But instead reach into a bag for a 1 out of 6 shot for safety at that tribal council. This will happen in secret and no one will know until the votes are read.
Again, I know this is very controversial, which is something that people have talked about. What do you think about this advantage?
Wait, what'd you say?
What do you think about this this advantage that they have?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was saying what did you say?
Oh, I said I know this is another thing that's like pretty.
Sorry, I'm just tired.
Oh, I'll talk. I'll start again. I know this is like very like controversial for like some people, and I know that it's one of those things that people have been saying like, oh, it ruins the flow of the game. I don't really think it does. I think it's like because the thing is like it is literally a 1 out of 6 shot. Like you could literally, you know, misplay that die like so many times. I think there are honestly very few scenarios in which you actually get to like use this die in like a successful way. So I feel like it's very much just kind of like a crapshoot. And honestly, like I feel like crapshoots are like the best type of advantage because it's like it could go your way or it couldn't. I don't think it's too overpowered at all because there are too many scenarios in which it doesn't work out. So what do you think though?
I mean, it depends. I don't think it's really overpowering.
No.
Honestly, I think everyone deserves I mean, not everyone, honestly, but like people deserve to have a little power in the game because what if they really need it and everything? So.
And it changes things up too. Like it definitely like it does change some things in the game, but I feel like it's kind of for the better because, you know, you always have that risk that someone's now going to play it. So you got to be careful with who you're targeting, like every single point. And for players like Ricard, Naseer, you know, who are like really like going hard already in the game, it's like, I definitely could fuck someone like them over.
Yeah. I don't think this advantage is bad at all.
Yeah, I honestly could see a scenario in which someone like plays it and they're like so ready to like have it like, and they like think that they've secured their safety. They think they're going to be okay. And then they misplay it and they go home. Like I could totally see something like that. It would be so rotted, but I could totally see that happening.
I could totally see it too. It'd be crazy, but like, and it would be rotted, but I mean, it would be like entertaining.
It'd be so fun to watch. I want to see something like that happen.
Yeah. Each of them have one. It's now time for the first immunity challenge. They will be doing an obstacle course of sorts until they get to a sled. They will then load it with very heavy puzzle pieces, and then 2 members at a time will move very heavy sandbags with them. And then push the sled down the track, transfer the puzzle pieces to a crate, and then hoist them to the top of the tower, where 2 players solve the Survivor puzzle. Only the first tribe to finish will win immunity. The other 2 will be heading to tribal council and also will sadly have to give up their flint, which they can earn back afterward.
This was a very like grueling and like intense first challenge. I thought like they really like were pushing them to their limits here with like how this challenge was done, especially like the heavy puzzle pieces. Like that shit seems really hard to like manage, but ultimately Luvu does end up winning this one, and I felt really bad for Uwa because like they were doing really well, and then they realized like it wasn't like they were missing pieces.
Luvu like really came back because they were losing.
They were, but it's I mean, Uwa literally was like about to win, and then they realized like, oh shit, we're missing pieces. So
I know.
Yeah, Luvu does have.
It was so intense.
Yeah, it really was. So Luvu does in fact have immunity for the round, so we don't really get to see them after this. But this also means someone from both Uwa and Yase will be voted out tonight because it is a double. I will say right now, I thought it was crazy that he started off with a double, but I will say, I do think with 26 days, I think we should probably expect more. Like, I feel like this is going to be very common this season. We're going to have doubles and it's going to suck because we're going to lose people that we like, but it definitely like ups the momentum, I feel like.
Yeah, just because it is a shorter season because of pandemic and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So in Yase, Liana talks about how her and Tiffany want to take out Abraham based on him targeting her. It seems like the guys are going for Tiffany and want to keep the rest of the tribe strong, and they feel that she is kind of the weakest link, which makes sense. You know, she didn't do great in that challenge, so they want to target her. Oh, yeah. But Evvie also seems not be furthest worried all of the women are going to be Pagan. So all the women are already teaming up together, which we love to see. I am really, like I said, I really love Evvie a lot here. Her logic makes a lot of sense. And she really does. Yes, she does try to convince everyone to gun for Abraham, saying that Tiffany is going to be more loyal to them, which is true. I feel like Abraham like just didn't do a great job of like making connections here. He was very like monotone and robotic. So I think that really hurt him. But Tiffany feels like she's going to be okay, but she doesn't want to be overly confident that she's staying. So she does decide to go idol hunting. We don't see what comes of that. We don't really see what comes of that there, but we see, meanwhile, Uwa is very crushed that they lost the challenge after having such a big lead at first. And Sara seems pretty defeated because she's a big reason as to why they lost this challenge. So she feels like she's going to be the target. But Ricard still really wants to go for JD. But with Sara and Shan doing badly in the challenge, he thinks that Shan is going to be the one going. And I'm like, there's no way Shan's going. Like, the way they just added this, there's no way. So Brad tells them right to their faces. And this was so weird to me. Brad literally tells them to their faces that they're in danger. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
what is he doing? He's so messy.
Exactly. Like this, like I said, this is just a very messy cast, but I'm kind of here for it. But like, my God. Yeah, Sarah's thing about possibly using her die tonight, which I thought she was going to. Like, I thought she was going to just use her right off the bat. But JD is planning on targeting Sara since he knows that Ricard was throwing him under the bus, which was smart. You know, hers was like the only other name out. So he tries to work something out with Brad, Shan, and Genie. And her and Brad, we see he and Brad solidify a final two of sorts. And however, Ricard and Sara still seem to want to do JD. And Shan, again, this is why I think Shan is probably like in the best position. She's very much like smack dab in the middle here. So like she's really trying to, you know, figure out what's going to go down.
I can see her being like a villain, but also like very under the radar.
I think she's going to be very like under the radar, over the top. Like, I think that's going to be her game. Like, she's going to target people in like a very like, she's going to target them in a very under the radar manner, but she's going to do it in a very like, you know, very, very straightforward and like aggressive way. Like, she's definitely going to go hard for them. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
It's time. So we then get to the first tribal council of the season. And this one was pretty straightforward, I will say, especially compared to the next one. Yase does go first. Tiffany takes the time to really drag down Abraham here. And I think did a pretty good job of doing so because She talks about how he's a bigger threat based on the fact that he's very cagey and isn't really open to many people, despite being very good socially. She, on the other hand, is very open and honest with everyone. And Abraham says that she's correct, but he feels that he brings the stamina and strength. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really know about that, Abraham. Like, you haven't really demonstrated much of anything.
I mean, I don't dislike him. But he hasn't really shown much.
I don't either. I just think he was kind of boring. So the vote then takes place.
Oh, yeah. He definitely was a little boring.
Yeah, I also just think he just did not play very well here. But we do get a very straightforward vote here where Abraham is the first person eliminated by a vote of 5-1. And he thinks he was blindsided, which, like, that alone tells me that, like, you really were not playing very well if you thought this was a blindside, because it was pretty obvious like, you were going here.
Yeah.
But what did you think of this first tribal council?
I mean, I saw this one coming. It was pretty like you said, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because he seemed like a nice guy. He just was kind of boring. But like, I definitely saw this one coming.
Yeah, for sure. But the second one, that's the one that we really want to talk about.
Yep. It's then time for the second tribal council of the night from the Ua tribe. As a tribe, they are incredibly chill and don't really know what's going to happen.
Always a bad sign. Always a bad sign.
Oh, that's not good. That's never good. Sara brings out how skeptical JD is not bringing anything back after going on the boat. And they know that there is no room for mistakes and only one immunity to win.
Which, I mean, again, I don't understand why they, like, I think this was Sarah's biggest issue. Like, why are you using this as the reason to target JD? Like, I feel like he was very, like, open and transparent with everyone. Like, I don't understand why this was the thing she used. I think there were other things she could have used, and, like, how he's, you know, very social, how he seems to be getting along with everyone. He could be a big, like, late game threat. Using this, I just don't think was a very, I just don't think was useful. Like, I don't think this was going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. As JD is talking, Ricard, Sara, and Shan do some last-minute strategizing and are worried JD might give up his vote, and that they need to vote together. Sara brings up how her name was thrown out to her face multiple times, aside from JD saying everyone's name has been thrown out. This was such a mess. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
I was here for it.
Yeah.
JD notices them strategizing and threatens to make it a live tribal. He goes over to Shan and tells her getting rid of Brad is a terrible idea. She claims she is with him and tells her she will do whatever she wants.
Oh my god, when he's like, all right, you want to make it a live tribal? I was like, yes, make it a live tribal. I'm here for it.
Yes. Love it. JD feels people are bullshitting him than what they said at camp, and he seems cool with Brad and Genie. The three of them decide to put their die in their pocket. The vote happens.
I thought they were going to play it. I did.
I know, me too. The vote happens, and as expected, it's pretty messy. And by a vote of 4-1, Sara is the next person voted out of Survivor 41. I honestly, I really liked her. I had high hopes for her because I thought she was just going to be like the sweet social girl who makes to at least merge. But just because of this cast, being playing really hard and being very game body at times, it was not the best tribe for her.
Yeah, I said it before we came on here, but I think what really hurt Sara, it's not necessarily anything that she did. It's just this cast was not going to work, was not going to be conducive to the way that she wanted to play. I think Sara's could be a really good, under the radar social player. Everyone feels good with her. But this cast is very upfront. This cast is very messy. They really like to just target people. And I think someone like her, who's a lot more, quiet, I just don't think she thrived as much. I think I'd love to see her come back. I'll say that right now. I really want to see Sara come back in another season because I think she did really well.
I think Sara's second time she would do really well, or she could even win.
Yeah, I just don't think this was her time overall. Let's talk about this vote, though, because it was a 4-1. I believe it was 1 JD and 1 Ricard.
I thought Brad had a vote.
Was it? Let me check.
Something like that. I'm trying to remember.
Let me check the Survivor 41.
Also, Sara says her biggest regret would be not using her shot in the dark, but feels in these 3 short days she has learned she could do more than she thought she could, but isn't going to trust people as much.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Sara voted for Brad, which, like, I don't know why. And then Genie voted for Ricard, which is crazy to me because it seemed like they were working pretty close together.
Unless she was just trying to be messy and to, like, maybe frame it on someone.
I think it's going to work. I think Ricard is someone that, you know, he seems to be someone that really likes to target people and be like in their face and be like, this is what I'm doing. Like, I think that's definitely the kind of game that he like wants to play. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Like,
it seems like Ricard is someone who really wanted to work with Sara.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he was very much like on the JD like train where he wanted to target him. I will say though, like, really good gameplay from JD here. Like, I was very impressed by how he got himself out of this situation because I feel like there are many possibilities in which he does go here and they all just like collectively vote him out. But he recognized that like there was some shady shit going on. He recognized that this tribe was like gunning hard for him and he wasn't going to let that happen. And I do think JD is going to get pretty far after this. Like, I also feel like they're focusing way too much on him for him to just go early.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had a lot of confessionals.
I think his edit, like, I think with this edit, he's at least going to get merged.
Yeah, I think he's going to get merged. I think he also, like, has potential to be, like, easily one of the best characters of this season, especially just from this tribal alone. Like, he is someone that will do whatever he can to save himself, and I think we very much saw that here. So just really good gameplay from him. I'm really liking JD a lot. I already was liking him, but honestly, the more the episode went along, the more I really did like him.
Yeah. He's like doing really well so far.
Yeah, I think so too. And like I said with Sara, like, I'd love to see her come back, but I just think that this cast in general just was not really the cast for her, unfortunately.
I sort of feel like maybe her next season she can have like a Kelly Wentworth kind of storyline.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. Or maybe like Haley Ford.
I don't know who that is, but yes.
She was on Worlds Apart and Game Changers.
I need to watch these seasons. But yeah, that's really it for our coverage of this first episode of Survivor. Like I said, a lot of people to like right off the bat. At this point, the only people I am not really a big fan of are like Xander and Sydney. Those are the only people I'm not really digging so far. Everyone else I feel like made at least some sort of impression. Oh, Heather, I'm not really vibing with that much either. I think she's kind of boring.
I like Heather. She's not my favorite yet, but I don't dislike her.
She's all right. I just didn't.
I hope she does more.
Yeah, even Brad is like surprising me. I'm liking him a little bit more than I thought I would.
I don't dislike him. He's not that bad.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be like just like the I'm from, you know, the South and I like to do things in the South and I'm very problematic because I'm from the South, but that's not how he is at all. So I like how he
and I like to raise cattle.
And I like to ride my tractor and I like to go ride my horse and I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe it's because of Frenchie. You know, Frenchie ruins
I'm going to get a beer. Let's go.
Frenchie ruins Southern people forever on reality shows. And I think whenever a Southern person comes up now, I'm just going to assume they're going to be as bad.
I love Southern accents.
Same, but usually they're problematic on reality shows.
But
yeah, most of them are.
Some of them.
But overall, I mean, I'm really impressed by this premiere. I think they did a really good job of getting us to know everyone, but also really kind of like setting up how the game's going to go. The Uwa tribe, I am absolutely loving. I can't wait to see like how else they really play this game. You got some really strong players there, like Shan and Genie, JD. Like, just that is definitely the tribe to be looking out for.
Oh, also something that some of my coworkers and I are doing, I guess. Well, one of the managers is putting on like a Survivor pool draft, and I had to pick like one sheet of paper, and the 2 picks I got were the two that I wanted, Shan and Liana. So I really hope I can win this. I'm very excited when I found out that I got them.
Fun stuff. I really hope you're able to win that one as well. That being said, let's go over to our draft because you've already lost someone. You've already lost Sara, unfortunately, which really sucks.
Oh, did you have Abraham?
Did I? No, you had him.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know who had him.
I have Denny, Erika, Evvie, Shan, Naseer, Deshawn, Genie, Xander, and Brad. And you have everyone else.
Yeah. Everyone else.
Yeah, you have Voce, So you've already lost two people, unfortunately.
I know. Well, I mean, Abraham was not shocking just because how he was playing, but Sara had like lots of potential for her, but she'll do better hopefully next time.
I think so. You do have JD though, so that could really help you.
Yes. I also have Liana, who was my first pick.
Yeah, you have Liana, you have Voce, Abraham, Heather, JD, Liana, Ricard, Sara, Sydney, and Tiffany.
Ugh, Sydney.
Well, someone had to draft her, so
I know, I took him for the team because I love you.
I love you. That's why I took fucking Brad, because I thought he was going to be problematic. He's not so far, though. So far. We don't know what's going to happen, but so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really it for our review of this first episode of Survivor. I'm very excited to get to cover this season. And you know what else I love, Allie? It's only once a week. We don't have to watch like 5 episodes a week like Big Brother. It is a very... I know.
And also we don't have to watch like 4 episodes like Circle.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very, very happy about that. I do think we have a few things to plug before we do wrap this up. Of course, we got coverage of a lot of shows that are ending, though, like Big Brother and The Circle.
Later today, we're going to be covering at like 3 Eastern or so. We're going to cover Descendants, episode 3. And we have late Tuesday night after I see Dear Evan Hansen, we were going to cover Big Brother, like the final 4 and then final 3. And then The Circle, we'll see if we can get our friend on, but if not, we can just do it ourselves whenever we can.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
And then what else do we have?
I think we have one more. Well, okay, I will say this. We are going to be doing, because October's coming up, we are going to be doing a special Halloween episode of A Conversation with Kely, mainly just by request. We thought it'd be a fun idea. I don't know if we'll be in costume, but we are going to have some people on to talk about Halloween stuff with, whether it's just about Halloween movies, whether it's about stuff they like to do for Halloween. It's just going to be like a fun little hangout sort of thing that we're doing. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think the big thing to talk about is something that you and Mike already have discussed on a meeting with Mally, but I didn't really get to bring it up myself. We're starting an org. Yes, we are starting an org ourselves. It is starting up on... Apps are going out on Friday, so definitely look forward to that. It is called Spotlight Survivor, which shout out to our very good friend Seb Cordero for making that very bomb graphic. I love the graphic for sure. It's I'm very excited for this. You know, I've always wanted to kind of be on the other side of things. I've played a lot of games and I've never really gotten to, like, I've done a mini, but it was more like a randomizer one. So I wouldn't really count it as like something I hosted. This is much more of like what I've wanted to do, just being on the other side and really getting to like watch people play the game and things like that. I think it's going to be a really fun experience for both of us, but we're not the only ones hosting. We also have, of course, Mike, our friends Jazzy and Max. We also have, like I said, our friend Seb, as well as our friend Grace, who you are going to see on the Circle finale. So that should be fun. Maybe we'll discuss it more there, but yeah, the applications are going out soon.
Yeah, I'm very excited to host too, because I've never actually hosted an org or a mini, but also this is inspired because I was supposed to host a Glee mini last year.
Yes.
So we're finally bringing to a season of our org, which I am like Glee, one of my favorite shows. So it's gonna be really fun to host.
Yeah, it is Glee themed.
Which I think should be fun. I hope I do okay. I've never hosted before, so
you'll do great. You'll do great. I know you'll do great. You always do. But no,
you're great.
we have made, or at least I've made, a YouTube channel already for this. So you guys will probably see like tribals posted on there and things like that and other information. But if you're watching this, you know, we hope you apply. We hope that you're interested in playing the game because we got a lot of really fun stuff planned, but yeah, that is the thing I thought that we should bring up. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done here, Allie. This was a lot of fun. I'm very excited to cover this season of Survivor, my first official full season. And just from what I can see from this first episode, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one.
Same. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, especially, and also we do love the 50%, you know, BIPOC rule. That's also great too. Like, you know, it's just great to see other stories. It's great to see other people thrive. You know, I think that's something that they did a really good job with, of course, and I'm excited to see how that really does play out within this season. But other than that, that's really it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Anything else that you want to say before we close things out here?
I'm just excited to cover the rest of the season. The premiere was amazing, and I have really high hopes for this.
Me too. All right. Other than that, we will see you guys in our next video, which will be sometime later today, and we will see you guys for that. Okay. Bye.